Very well. So thank you for joining. So we are on chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita, this 18-week exploration of the Bhagavad Gita until Gita Jayanti in December. So we're on chapter 6. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 6, the title of chapter 6 is Dhyana, like meditation, Dhyana Yoga. So this translation I'm going to read, it encapsulates what Krishna is talking about in this chapter. So we have 25 minutes to get a summary of chapter 6. Krishna says to Arjuna, to practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling the mind, senses, and activities and fixing the mind on one point. So this is Krishna describing Dhyana Yoga. Now, before we talk about that, let's go back a little bit. Remember, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna does not begin to talk about bhakti until chapter 7. We're only on chapter 6. So the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna does not once bring up even the word bhakti yoga. Only comes in chapter 7. Right now, when Krishna talks about spirituality, he's talking about, remember, there's 2 types of spirituality. There is what's called Sakara-vada and Nirakara-vada. Nirakara-vada means, nir means without, kar means attributes, qualities. So Nirakara-vada means a philosophy that deals with the supreme without form. This is Brahman. Brahman, the supreme spiritual energy. This is Nirakara-vada. This is the supreme that does not have a name, form, not like a murti in the mandir. That's Nirakara-vada. So all through chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, all of that is Nirakara-vada. In chapter 7, Krishna switches to Sakar. Sakar means with qualities, right? Govinda has flute, he has curly hair. The Bhagwan has a form, has qualities. He likes makhan. There's different qualities of the Supreme. This is Sakara-vada. So we have Nirakara-vada, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Sakara-vada is the rest of the Bhagavad Gita. So in chapter 6, Krishna is describing how to engage in spirituality based on Nirakara-vada, connecting with the Supreme that has no qualities, just Brahman, pure, spiritual energy, right? And this is the process Krishna is giving for this Nirakara-vada. Now, when we look at this particular verse, well, let's go back a little bit. And Krishna was telling Arjuna, if you remember in chapter 4, Krishna was using the word sannyas, 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 right? Sannyas means to, when we think sannyas, is someone who's given up everything, right? They give up everything, they go to the forest, and they do nothing with the material world. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, you should engage in sannyas, sannyasa yoga. Chapter 6, the title is Dhyana, Dhyana Yoga. Chapter 5 is called Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Because in chapter 5, Krishna is saying sannyas, this, sannyas, that. He's using the term sannyas. If you go to chapter 4 and 5, Krishna is saying sannyas this, sannyas that, sannyas this, sannyas that. And Arjuna is thinking, oh my God, I have to, just like you and I, we hear sannyas and we think I have to quit my job, go to the Himalayas and do Om, Om, Om. This is what Arjuna is thinking. This is where Krishna begins to describe the yoga process properly in a way that Arjuna understands. He's describing it properly, but he doesn't want to make sure, he wants to make sure there is no misunderstanding. So then he gives this yoga process. Now, the yoga process Krishna gives in Dhyana yoga, it has 2 levels, only 2 levels, the yoga process Krishna gives. Patanjali, famous Patanjali that we all know, even many in the West, they all know about Patanjali, Ashtanga yoga, and so on. Well, they know a little bit. Patanjali expanded the same yoga process, Dhyana yoga. He expanded it into Ashtanga, 8 levels. Originally, there's only 2. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives only 2 levels of this yoga. Yoga Ruddha and Yoga Rurukshu. Right? 2 levels, beginner and advanced. Yoga Ruddha, Yoga Rurukshu. Patanjali makes it into 8. The beginning stage of yoga, we'll start with Krishna, we'll come back to Patanjali. The beginning stage, sorry, excuse me, technical difficulties here. Can you hear me now? Okay. So the beginning stage, right? Krishna gives only 2 levels. Auto TV will begin at 7:30. So, yeah, so we have a little Bhagavad Gita class and then 7:30, yeah? So Krishna gives 2 levels. The beginning stage, the first stage is Yoga Rurukshu, beginning stage. On this stage is Manasa Sannyasa. Manasa Sannyasa means you renounce in the mind. This means you want to engage, you have a job, you go into work, you have obligations, you have to take care of the family, this and that. But in your mind, you're thinking this is an offering to Bhagwan. So you do not give up the activity. The activity remains. You go to work, you do your job, you take care of your family. But in your mind, you're thinking, this is my seva to Bhagwan. This is my seva to Krishna. So Manasa Sannyasa means you give up attachment. You see, you give up attachment to the results of your work. Right? Krishna says in 3rd chapter. He already hinted at this in 3rd chapter. Yajñarthat kamanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tarartam karma kauntaya mukta sangha samachara. Krishna says, work should be done as yajna to Vishnu. Otherwise, work causes bondage in the material world. If you want mukta, if you want liberation, give up attachment, not the work. Very, very important, not the work. Give up attachment to the result, but not the work. You continue to do the work. This is the confusion Arjuna had in the first 6 chapters. Krishna saying sannyas, 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 and Arjuna saying, okay, I give up everything and I go to the forest. No, Krishna saying manasa sannyasa. Give up attachment in the mind. So this is yoga rurukshu. This is the beginning stage of yoga. Now we go back to Patanjali. Patanjali made 8, right? Krishna had 2 in Bhagavad Gita. Patanjali cut it into 8 because, we have no brain. So he has to give it in bite-sized pieces. In Patanjali's 8 stages, stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The 7 stages of Patanjali is Krishna's 1 stage. So let's go briefly into Patanjali's 7 stages. Yama, niyama, means yama niyama is very important. In the West, they completely discard yama niyama. Yama niyama means eating properly, regulated senses, sense control, all kinds of, not just exploiting the senses, all kinds of eating all kinds of things, doing all kinds of things, joking or all. Yama niyama means very, very controlled lifestyle. Sattvic lifestyle is the best example. Yama niyama means sattvic lifestyle. Here, when we practice yoga in the modern day, sattvic lifestyle is out the window. Yoga is just some exercise to look good, you know? Anyways, let's not go into that. Yama niyama, pranayama. Total control of the breathing. Total control of the breathing. A yogi should be able to hold their breath easily for 3 minutes. Easily. Completely stopping the breath without anxiety, without distress for 3 minutes. That's basic pranayama. If you cannot hold your breath for 3 minutes, you need to practice some more. Many yogis can do more, but 3 minutes is basic ability to be able to hold the breath and breathe. So yama niyama, pranayama, asana. This is what's become popular and which they make money off of in the yoga studios, right? Asana like this, like that, to get a fit body to look good. That's all it's, anyways, that's okay. Yama niyama, pranayama, asana, pratyahara. Pratyahara is Krishna gives the perfect example of pratyahara in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna gives this example. He gives the example of a turtle who pulls the arms inside the shell, right? You've seen that? Where turtle pulls the arms and closes up inside, and it's just a ball. This is pratyahara. Ahara means to eat, right? Pratyahara means controlled eating. So this pratyahara stage means that we are able to the senses, what we look at, what we listen to, what we smell, taste, we're able to pull the senses from the sense objects. Excuse me. We have complete 100% control of the senses. I just did a home program today, this afternoon, home opening. And they had these nice, beautiful cupcakes, right? And you see, oh, you want to grab the cupcakes. Pratyahara means, no, sense control, complete and total sense control. But we don't talk about that in yoga, not in modern day yoga. So 5, yama niyama, pranayama, asana, pratyahara, dharana. Dharana is when we begin to focus our concentration. I was doing a meditation this morning in the morning group. Or was that last week? It was last week. We were doing a meditation on breathing. And you focus on your breathing and you count every single breath. Inhale, you count, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you count for 10 minutes without losing count. Complete focus. This is dharana. So these were 6 stages, right? No. Yama niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana. Dhyana is when the concentration becomes completely fixed, completely focused. You give a meditation, someone can come in and ring a bell and it does not break your meditation. This is dhyana. That's stage 7. So the first 6 stages of Patanjali's yoga system is Krishna's 1 stage in Bhagavad Gita. 6 Patanjali stages is all in 1 stage in Krishna, and that's what we read. I'll read the Bhagavad Gita again, Krishna's translation. Krishna says, to practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place, put kusha grass on the ground, deer skin, soft cloth, seat neither too high nor too low. The yogi should sit firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart, controlling the mind. This is dharana dhyana, total control of the mind, senses, this is pratyahara, and activities, and fixing his mind on 1 point. This is dharana. All 6 stages into 1. Krishna calls it yoga rurukshu. This is the beginning stage of yoga. The second stage Krishna has is yoga ruddha. Yoga ruddha is when there is complete absorption. Patanjali, this is level 7 and 8. Dhyana and samadhi. That is Krishna's second stage. Patanjali, it's number 7 and 8. So this is what Krishna is describing in chapter 6. This entire process, what Patanjali makes into 8, Krishna describes into 2. So a quick recap. Remember, the first 6 processes, chapters of Bhagavad Gita is Nirakara-vada. That means Krishna is describing spirituality. Krishna is describing the Supreme as Nirakara, without qualities, without form, without attributes. And then this is the process one can use to have realization of Nirakar Bhagwan, the Supreme Brahman that is Nirakar, without qualities. From chapter 7, then Krishna begins to describe Sakar. He begins to describe the Supreme with qualities. Shyam Sundar, Krishna with form, hair, likes Makhan, all these different qualities of the Supreme. That is Sakar. That comes later. Now, what's very important, and we'll end here, we have Arati coming up to summarize chapter 6. Oh, sannyas. Patanjali's first 6 levels, Manasa Sannyasa, means you renounce within the mind your attachment to work. You do the work, but you renounce the attachment to the work. Very important. This is Manasa Sannyasa. The 2 levels of Ashtanga Yoga we get from Patanjali, that is Karma Sannyasa. Only when there is complete absorption do you give up activity. Karma Sannyasa. That is the highest stage of yoga. Right? So Krishna gives 2 stages. Beginning stage, Manasa Sannyasa. You give up attachment. Advanced stage, Yogaruddha, Karma Sannyasa. That is when you give up activity. Arjuna was mixing the 2. He thought he should go straight to Karma Sannyasa, Yogaruddha, and give up everything. Krishna says, no, that's not for you. You're in the beginning stage. Yogarurukshu. Your process is Manasa Sannyasa. Do your work. Don't be attached to the results of the work. This is the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Next Sunday, we'll go into chapter number 7. Hari Hari.